recording started. Yes. So, welcome everybody. At the outset, let us convey our happy Janmashtami greetings. Happy Janmashtami to each one of you. For our Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of Philippines, this is the maiden attempt to celebrate a festival online. We wish and hope that you are all well with your family and your loved ones. And once again, we convey our greetings of happy Janmashtami. Let your life become more happy and you live a healthy life and all the problems go away. With these words, I will now request our Vice President of Ramakrishna Vedanta Society, Ms. Rosanna, to speak a few words, and after that, floor will be for Maharaji. Ms. Rosanna.
Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Ako si Rosana Haben. Binabati ko kayo lahat ng Happy Janmashtami. Ito'y isang pagdiriwang napakahalagang araw para sa lahat ng deboto ni Lord Krishna. At gayon din, iniimbitahan ko kayo sa mga susunod na mga talakayan at mga pag-aaral sa Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of the Philippines tuwing linggo, 5:30 ng hapon. Ang mga partikular na mga paksa sa susunod na linggo ay ang una ay ang edukasyon, ito ba ang solusyon sa lahat ng mga suliranin? At katlo, Ramakrishna, ang propeta ng lahat propeta ng pagkakasundo ng mga relihiyon. Shout out sa lahat ng mga deboto ni Lord Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna. Salamat po.
Thank you, Madam Rosanna. Thank you for your kind words of introduction. Now, we would give the floor to Maharaji, our minister in charge, Swami Udaranandaji Maharaji. Please take over the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Nirmala. I, on the behalf of Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of Philippines, welcome you all. We will start today's program with evening Aarati. The Aarati that we are usually doing, but due to pandemic, on every Sunday at 4 p.m. But due to pandemic, it is not possible for people to attend. So this is our maiden attempt to try this puja online, so that most of you can participate in the safe, security and comfort of your rooms. So we will begin the Aarati of Sri Ramakrishna, which is done in all the centers of Ramakrishna Mission Morton Center all over the world. It is Aarati Puja of Sri Ramakrishna.
धृतं त्वाचारो गुणजित् गुणेभ्यो नक्तं देवं सकरुणम् तमादभगवम् मोहङ्कषम् बहुकृतं न भजे यतोऽहम् तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो भक्तिर्भरश्च भजनम् गच्छन्त्यरम् सुविपुलम् गमनाय तत्त्वम् वक्तृत्वोऽर्थितोऽपि हृदये नामे भाति किञ्चित् तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो तेजस्तरन्ति तरसा त्वयि तृप्त तृष्णा रागं धृते धृतपथे त्वयि रामकृष्णे मर्त्यामृतं तव पदम् मरणोर्विनाशम् तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो कृत्यं करोति करुषम् गुहाकान्तकारी शान्तं शिवं सुविमलम् तव नाम नाथ जय भगवान श्री राम कृष्ण देव की जय। जय महामाई की जय। जय स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय। जय गंगा माई की जय। जय श्री बुद्धदेव की जय।
जय श्री जीसस लॉर्ड की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण की जय।
सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद घनेश्वर श्याम।
सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद गणेश्वर श्याम। लक्ष्मी सेवित युग श्याम सुर मुनि वर गण चाचित श्याम। भूमारो गणनाचित श्याम लोक बंधु गुरुवाचक श्याम। धर्म स्थापन शीलन श्याम श्रीकृत नर तनु सुरवर श्याम। सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम। मायाधीश्वर चिन्मय श्याम यादव कुल संभूषण श्याम। नंद यशोदा पालित श्याम श्रीवत्सांकित बालक श्याम। मारित माया पूतन श्याम शकटासुर खल भंजन श्याम। सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम। दामोदर गुण मंदिर
श्याम यमलार्जुन तरु भंजन श्याम गोपी जन गण मोहन श्याम अगणित गुण गण भूषित श्याम भगवत राक्षस घातक श्याम आर्य सर्प विनाशन श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम जय वृंदावन चरण श्याम गोचारण रत्नोधर श्याम वरद सुशोभित चूड़क श्याम कनरंजित वनमारक श्याम अग्रज वल्लभ कांतित श्याम गोपवधूर हृदयस्थित श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम सनातन सर्वेश्वर श्याम रेणुकवरवरतारक श्याम सुरेंद्र पूजन वारक श्याम पार्वत पूजन तारक श्याम सुरगण कार्तिक संगन श्याम निरुपम क्रीडन तोषण श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम आराधक विधिहर श्याम गोपी भाविक प्रिय कर श्याम नंदित नंद सुनंदन श्याम वैकुंठेश प्रीति श्याम तत् चारण श्याम मोहन मुरली भारत श्याम सत्य सदा रास महोत्सव खेलन श्याम आनंदामृत
Walang katulad ang sarap at sayang bigay ng meatiest, cheesiest, sweet sarap Jolly Spaghetti.
1885
शरीर धारण श्याम नानाधीरा कौतुक श्याम भजजान्तित मृदुपद श्याम समस्त लोकाधारक श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम वृषभाष्टमीतीरथ श्याम विधिगत तर्क विनाशक श्याम रुचिर स्वरूप जनार्दन श्याम नीलकलेवर चिन्हन श्याम साधक गति संशोधन श्याम लीलानटन मनोहर श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम गोपी जन गण पूजित श्याम राधा वेणी शोभन श्याम अग्नोरात्रिक शेषन श्याम पितरथयारोहण श्याम गजनारी पुरमायित श्याम सखी गणदाहन विरहत श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद धनीश्वर श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद धनीश्वर श्याम मथुरा पुरजन मोहक श्याम सनकादिक मुनि चिंतित श्याम मंगल जगदल आनक श्याम शुभ पीतांबर धारक श्याम मालाकार पूजित श्याम ब्रह्म सुपूर्ण पराकर श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम पूजाले नंदित श्याम भक्ताविर्विजुकारक श्याम आदित्य गज मदले पद श्याम केशिकं सनिशूलन श्याम पद्मगदाधर कीर्तित श्याम उग्रसेन वरराज्यक श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम रामकृष्ण हरि श्याम माधव केशव हरि श्याम कृत गुरु सूर सुजीवक श्याम भीष्म समारामित श्याम द्वारवती संस्थापक श्याम रुक्मिण्यर्क सुहारक श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नरकासुरवधकारक श्याम अदिति समर्पित कुंडल श्याम स्वधर्म तत्पर मोक्षद श्याम शिशुपालासुविघातक श्याम प्राणासुरपुत्रप्रेरक श्याम दानव वर मधुसूदन श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम चक्र प्रताप सुदर्शक श्याम औरतदर्प विवर्धक श्याम विनायक श्याम इंद्रविभीष सुसेवित श्याम सखी भक्तार्जुन सारथि श्याम पांडव कुल सम्मानित श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम गीतामृत संदोहक श्याम भीष्म प्रतिज्ञापालक श्याम विश्वरूप सौंदर्यक श्याम आत्यंतिक सुख साधक श्याम भक्त कृपाणक भार्गव श्याम शरणागत जनकारक श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम भक्त काम संपूरक श्याम मंगलकर गतिदायक श्याम ऐश्वर्यादिक षड्गुण श्याम विश्वाक्षय जगपालन श्याम सर्वचराचर धारण श्याम पूर्णजराचर केरन श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम पार्वती पुर पावन श्याम गुरु यदुकुल संहारक श्याम बजरी संभवितोद्भव श्याम प्रभास रमणामोदित श्याम योग स्थित यदुनंदन श्याम सुरगण वंदित मोदक श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम देवव्यामज भैरवश्याम मोहन नटनानन्दन श्याम सूचित नरतनु श्याम जनरूप शरवेदित श्याम भक्त जनार्दन सुंदर श्याम विश्व सुनंदन कारण श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद हरेश्वर श्याम सत्य सनातन सुंदर श्याम नित्यानंद हरेश्वर श्याम.
Nirmala, should I begin? Or
Yes, please.
anything? We can continue.
Maharaj ji, please start your talk. We are eager to hear you. This is so give us our blessings. This is our maiden attempt.
Yes. This is a very good maiden attempt. Though I see not many people are there. It is one way it is good. Other way, there is a song in Bengali. Shokol kajer pai je shomoy tomake dakte paini. If you literally translate, I have time for everything, but I do not have time to call you. And yet I suffer so much. When I suffer, I criticize you. That is the problem. God will come to you only if you are related to God, if you are connected to God. Otherwise, God cannot come to you for help. It is not. We cannot expect Him to suddenly, without any invitation, He will come and help you out. We have to get connected and remain connected. Then only God will come and help. So today is a very important day because it is Janmashtami. So I will begin with the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, when he was very ill at Kama and he was staying at Kashipur Garden House, he was suffering from cancer, as you all know. So when he was staying there, Swamiji again felt that this person, he says that he is incarnation of God and all those things, that he has so much power and that, but he is suffering so much. Why should I believe him? Then that time Sri Ramakrishna's condition was so bad that he could hardly move. He was suffering from throat cancer. He could not eat anything. He could not talk. But when he got up from his seat, and then first thing that he said, fellow, even now you did not get conviction. The one who was Rama and one who is Krishna has come into this body as Ramakrishna. So that was a great revelation that Sri Ramakrishna gave, that it is Rama and Krishna who have incarnated as Ramakrishna in this Kali Yuga. It was then that Swamiji got his conviction back and he believed that Sri Ramakrishna indeed was incarnation of God. So first of all, now there are two personalities we are talking here about. One is Rama and one is Krishna. So, and Ramakrishna. For Ramakrishna, we have all the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, his teaching, his disciple, and we have this center as Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. So here we can get to read all these teachings that Sri Ramakrishna said. But what about Rama? Rama was said to be the embodiment of sainthood. He was personification of saintliness, gentleman. He was the time he stayed, his life was his message. But Krishna gave a great message, which is recorded in a scripture, which is one of the greatest scripture that we have, called Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So that was the place where Shri Krishna talks to his bosom friend, very close friend Arjuna, and talks about life. And that Bhagavad Gita, that which contains 700 shloka, was not only important during that time, it is very much important even now, and especially during the times of pandemic. So, can anybody tell me which is the most important shloka, which is oft-quoted all the time by people all over? Whosoever is reading Gita, there is a very common shloka which is repeated off and on. What is that shloka?
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा
Very
फलेषु
good.
कदाचन.
100 out of 100. Very good. 100 out of 100. Very good. Very good. I appreciate it. Very good. This is the most important shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, which says, do your duty. Karmanya vadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana. Do your duty and be detached from the outcome. Do not be driven by the end product. Enjoy the process of getting there. So, what does this mean? You know, yesterday during the class, there was one IT professional the gentleman, he asked the question during our interviews and every time we have to have talk about our performances. We cannot say that no, we cannot ignore it. There is no opportunity, because if you want to have a higher job or a better portfolio, we have to talk of our achievement, how to overcome that, or is it correct? So then that answer, I said, this is the answer to that. Maharaj also gave that answer, and I corroborate still further for us also. Like Maharaj said, in his center, he is having a marketing management, this and the things that he said. In spite of all the lecture, he also scored out the achievements that he is doing. But that is not bragging. That is not negative. You have to talk of your achievements. Otherwise, if you do not tell what you have done, you cannot. People will not know what you are doing, and they will say this the center is doing nothing, and we need much thing to be done. So yesterday he talked about the activities of the center, that all the 7 days are engaged and all the days they are working, and he also talked out in details what they are doing, how they are collecting fund. This is there necessary, but then this is a phala. Then why we are not ignoring phala? Why we are talking about the fruits of the karma here and not ignoring that? Is it not contradicting the shloka that karmanya vadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana? And then there was also another person who asked that what to do, that violence is, so much of violence is going on in South Africa now, and we also know that in Taliban and other places violence is going on. We don't want to go into the politics of it, but it is going on. Then how do we connect with that? How we can connect that this violence, and what is our role in that? Should we be a mere spectator, or if we should not be worried about the results of the outcome of the project? That suppose some wild group takes over a country, should we be a mute spectator, and what? So it raises such a question. In Mahabharata also, a confused Arjuna turns to Lord Krishna for advice on the battlefield. You see, he goes to battlefield and everything is ready, all negotiations are over, and then suddenly when everything is ready and they are just on the verge of blowing the conch to start the battle, Arjuna turns to Lord Krishna and says, "Oh Lord, I do not want to fight this war anymore." And then he doubted and started saying so many principles. This is not good, that is not good, what we will do with the land, what is the purpose of the land, so many. And at the end of the day, all who are standing opposite to me, they are after all my relatives, friends. So how can I fight my own relatives and friends for the sake of money? So that the question that he asked is the same question. It is even pertinent now. What should we do? Should we fight with the situation, or we should run away? You see, you may have certain goal in mind to work to the topmost position of your care. Say you are in a institution, you are working in office, you want to become the example CEO, you want to become a CEO. Your dream is to achieve the position within a stipulated time. So you will have to prepare for the role, attending team management, whatever that stipulations are there to get that promotion, you have to work. But keeping whatever trend, because you have to be very active and trend. This is the why Bhagavan says, karmanya vadhikarasya, don't look at the goal, but if we do not set goal, should we have a set sort of goals, or we should not have goal? Yes, that is the question, and this is for the management, especially for management and those who are working, they have this question every time they ask. So our answer is, when you the basic meaning of the shloka is, when you focus on reward, you become prone to worries, and in case of failure, you get depressed if the result is not positive. As Maharaj was telling yesterday, that person who committed suicide, he was a topper in IIT, the most coveted institution, engineering institution in India, pristine India, very few can get chance, and he was one of the toppers. Everything that he did was the best of the best. He got the best of the best, but he prepared himself for only success. he was not ready to face failure. That was the biggest problem, and that is why he had to commit suicide. It is a very not a very good example, but it is an example that Maharaj gave nevertheless. So this goal, the first thing that Krishna preaches, which is most important, is that you should not focus on the reward. Just enjoy the journey. You may first set up a goal, but then start. Why we have started discussing about the message instead of talking of Krishna? Because we come to know of Krishna by reading his messages, by knowing his messages, by realizing, contemplating on the messages. You see, in our life, there are three things. Foremost important thing is Shravana, then is Manana, and then Nididhyasana. First is to hear, Shravana, keep on hearing, keep on hearing. Unless you are hearing every day, you will never learn what is there to be learned, what is there to be known. You will make mistakes. Suppose you want to go to some place, you have to inquire how to go, why we can go by bus, we can go by Grab, we can go by Gypsy or whatever air. You have to know by how to go to those places. Then once you know, then you have to think over it. That is called Manana. How can I go to this? And then you have to practice this. That is why in spiritual life, we have three things. First is Shravana, keep on hearing, hearing, hearing. That is why we have started the life of Sri Krishna. Though it is Janmashtami, we should be talking about the person, but we are, because he is more than a person, he is a thought process. His message is more important than the name. What he did in the childhood or how he grew up, that is also important. But what is the message that he gave? And the message, which is the most important thing that he gave, was, which is recorded by Vedavyasa and which is known as Bhagavad Gita. So then when that person, other person, they ask, you will face so many difficulties in life, but life will poke you to become, from all the corners. People will criticize you, like the doctor was telling the patient. I have myself also encountered such things when I was in a hospital center. Whatever you may do, I was 10 years in a hospital center, and nobody ever said thank you. Nobody ever said thank you. But if anything goes wrong, they will come all the way to criticize you. So the doctor was asking how. Then that this person, you have to run the hospital. You have to do what you can do. Whatever is not in your control is not in your control. You have to accept it, and people also will accept it eventually. They may not do it, but you should not give up to the criticism. And at the same time, life will be unfair, but that doesn't mean that you have to become animal and you have to retaliate back. If you retaliate back, then you are no longer divine. That is why they say that Krishna faced so many crises in his life. You see, he was born in a prison. That before his birth, there was death threat. His own uncle, maternal uncle, wanted to kill him. And the moment he was born, he was shipped away to a foster home. And ever since then also, in many ways, his own uncle wanted to kill him, and he sent so many demons also to do. You see, the Lord incarnate, who is God himself, had to face so many difficulties. Born in a jail, then raised by a foster home, and continuous death threat. And finally, when he grew up also, he could not enjoy his kingdom, because one problem or the other kept on coming into his life, and he had to resolve all those things. What he did, he sacrificed everything for sake of others. So that is the very important thing. What first message and most important message I want to say, which we feel, is that concentrate on your goal. That Krishna says to the world, which is applicable even now. Concentrate on your goal and do your work and focus not on the result. Do not worry what will be the outcome, whether it is good or bad. Just because you can only do what is in your hand. Result is not in your hand. Whether when you say write something, whether people will like it or not, it is not in your hand. But to write, how to write, whether it is grammatically correct, whether the writing is good, it is legible or not, those things are in your hand. But whether it will be appreciated by the people or not, it is not in your hand. So what we have to do is, if you want to write, we will write. If you have to say, like I am speaking, I am telling this, my whole day I was telling myself, Karmanyavadhikarasya, because I have to speak, because this is the first time. We are inviting speakers from all over, and myself not speaking, that is little bit ridiculous. And when I see my own number, it is only 14. So I have to tell myself also, learn this also, Karmanyavadhikarasya, and that is the thing. So that is the lesson number one. The lesson number two is that Krishna says there is always cause and a reason. In that, Krishna says that everything happens for a cause and a good reason. Whatever happens in life happens for good, and there is always a cause, that always must be some reason. He also mentioned that we are all children of God, the one creator. God is the supreme power, and this world is governed by Him. And since we are all God's children, nothing evil can happen to us. Hence, it is the best not to cry over the things that have happened or the other things that we do not have control of. We need to let go and accept things, and we have to learn in the present moment. There is a very important saying that in many Hindi books translating Gita is written, whatever has happened is only for the good future. The activities that are happening at present also are for a good cause. The happenings in the future, they are also for a good future. So I hope you will understand the above sentence. It emphasizes on continuing doing your duty, no matter the result, victory or failure. So there is no need to sulk. The worst you can do is put the blame on others for the failure or seek revenge. Please note, every activity in this world happens for a reason. To make you understand the importance of human life, remember there are also many other living beings such as plants and animals, but none can change their fate, but human being can. You see, it is so interesting. An animal cannot do, a plant cannot change its position. Just suppose it is raining too heavy, it cannot say that I will go to a drier place. It has to die out and wither out. So even for the animal also, they cannot do it. Life is not in their own control. Fate is not in their own control. But for a human being, you can always change your destination. You can fight your own destiny. If adversities come, you can fight and struggle and then come out of it. So that is what Gita tells, face the life and come out successful. And then it is a very important thing. Gita also says that change is permanent. That very interesting thing, that change is permanent. We do not accept change, but change is the only thing which is permanent. Life keeps on changing. And then today you are a rich man, tomorrow you will become pauper. And that COVID has shown. Many people are there who are very affluent, who are very rich, and suddenly out of nothing they have become so poor. And many rich people have become richer, but many people have become from a middle class, they have fallen down to lower classes. And many even now they cannot afford to have food and this. Suddenly life has changed. In this 1.5 years, there is a dramatic change happening all over the world. And everywhere persons are suffering one way or the other. But what we should do in that position? We cannot wait for somebody to come and help us. We cannot keep on whining, okay, God, please come, send somebody, or hoping that somebody will come and help. You have to take the control of your own life and fight it out. This is the message of Lord Krishna. And then there is a very good saying that Krishna says, that you are born empty-handed and you will leave empty-handed, this mother hand. So at the end of the day, money which was there in your hand that you have got, it was you came naked and you will go naked. Whatever you had in the present is only temporary. But what will go with you is your own samskaras, the activities that you do, the thought that will remain with you. That is the philosophy of Indian culture, that the thoughts will never go. Thoughts remain with you until you are free, until you attain freedom. This karmic circle, it will, whatever you talk, whatever you do, all your actions will get accumulated and collected, and it will form a karmic cycle, and it continuously, you have to take rebirth, birth after birth, until it is over. So Arjuna, Krishna also tells this. You see, I have been taking so many births, and you are also taking so many births. But the only difference between you and me is I am aware of all my previous birth, and you are not aware of that. So this also answers the question of once that Hiranmada asked. Life will be like this. Life will be asking you again and again that same thing, whether you are born in Finland or fatherland or whatever land you are born, this samskara, whatever thought process is there, it will be like your bank balance. It is a fixed deposit which will go with you. Unless you spend it out, either you have to spend it out means you wear it out. The whole thing has to wear out, the whole karmic cycle. Once it is over, then only one can become free. Again, the circle starts. This is what it is. But unless you are in this karmic cycle, you have to suffer. So that a very important thought that Gita tells, a very important message is that you are born empty-handed that, and you will leave empty-handed, this mother empty-handed. Remember this, and this is how, if you do this, you will never suffer for loss of anything in this life. Because when you came, you had nothing. And when you will go, you will carry nothing. So why you are crying for something which was never yours? It is today, it belongs to you. That same car, somebody else may buy it. It will be theirs. And day after tomorrow, somebody else may buy that car. So the hand changes. So why worry for that small property or small instrument or whatever it is? Just because if you remember this, this is all temporary. Today it is with me, tomorrow it will be somebody else. Because we have come this world empty-handed and we will leave this world empty-handed. So stop worrying about this. And another thing that Bhagavad Gita tells us is that equality of life. You see, once we realize that all human beings are equal, because everybody has a feeling, everybody suffers. If you realize this, that all of us have the same soul. You see, all of us are made of flesh and blood, and all of us have the same soul, and we all suffer equally for one reason or the other. Then we will not inflict pain on others. If we have this belief that everybody is there, we will not inflict pain on others. This will also give you equanimity, because we will feel that we are all equal. Where is the difference? Why have jealousy? Why have anger? So another very important teaching of Lord Krishna is control your anger. Control your anger. Then it is a very important slok. Krodha bhavate sammoha. That is, anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed. And when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. You see, Krishna talks about everything in life. You see, in a battlefield, they are talking about the basic things, basic principles of life, how to lead the life. And that is how he's inspiring Arjuna to fight the battle. You see, that in the battle, what is the need of talking of Krodha? There is actually no need. You have to say simply take up the bow and arrow, and we have to go down to the battlefield and fight. But 700 shlokas. 700 shlokas means 700 principles. He has given so many, and then it constitutes of 4 yoga. Not only that, it is so enriching. The Bhagavad Gita is so enriching that it is now been read all in many places of the world, and many scholars are doing research even now. So, and there, very simply speaking, in a simpleton word, Krishna says, control your anger. It is a very, very plain and simple. If you do not know control in your anger, if you do not have that control, they say that one has to get angry, but to get angry at right proportion, at the right time, and with the right opportunity, that makes the difference. That means you have to, Sri Ramakrishna also says, you have to hiss whenever it is necessary. If you do not hiss, people may misappropriate you, they may harm you, they may do this. So you have to show anger, but do not get carried away by the anger. So this is also one of the very important message of Sri Krishna. And then Krishna talks of sacrifice. Krishna asked Bhima to call Ghatotkacha. One example, if you read Mahabharata in Kurukshetra, that when everybody was fighting, they were suddenly these Kauravas, because they were very powerful, 100 brothers and their army. So suddenly they found that Pandava army is not able to fight the war. What they are not able to do. That time Krishna asked Bhima, and there was his son called Ghatotkacha. So they say that Karna has a weapon which can annihilate the whole army of Pandavas, and if that weapon is used by Karna, then the whole army will go and Pandavas will lose the war. So then Krishna again requests Bhima to send his Ghatotkacha was born of a demon lady. So he had a very demonic power, and he was very strong and very powerful. So he had the power to withstand that weapon fired by Karna. So when Karna used, he came in between the army and and he sacrificed his life for the sake of victory of the Satya, that is Dharma, that is the Pandavas. So this Krishna tells when it is needed, you must be ready to sacrifice your life for the cause. And we know our soldiers are battling out. Many people, soldiers are glorified, but there are many people who has given up their life, very high profile jobs and everything, and they are coming and serving the humanity. So that is a kind of sacrifice Krishna is talking about. If you really want happiness in life, you must learn to know, you must know how to sacrifice. If you do not know, if you want everything, if you are too selfish and if you are too self-centered, egocentric, then you will never really enjoy life. So if you really want to get the best benefit of your life, you must know. So this is another very important message that Lord Krishna gave, is sacrifice. You see, and then coming down to the another portion, the another point, that Sri Krishna's life was of humbleness and modesty. Even though Krishna was a king of, he was king of Dwarka, very big. He was God. But you see, he became charioteer of Arjuna. And never he boasted of his kingdom. Whenever he negotiated about when the war was to be started, he went as a Duta. Duta means as a messenger, only as a messenger. He could have gone as a king and say, given an order, no, you cannot start a war. But instead he chose to become a messenger. And when the war started, he said, I will not fight it. If he wanted, he could have single-handedly destroyed the whole Kaurava because he was God. He had already shown his power by killing Kamsa and many demons when he was infant, young boy. So he was powerful, he was capable. But he chose to be a charioteer of his friend Arjuna, Sakha. That is of friendship also is very, very important. This when we see in the life of Krishna, that we see that in first is the example of that he became charioteer of Arjuna. And it also shows no job is big or small. God of all gods. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. It is said that Krishna is God himself. But he chose to become the charioteer of his friend Arjuna. That is literally he chose to become. But metamorphically speaking, if you give the reins of your life in the hand of the God, nothing will go wrong. There are two meanings to that. Literally speaking, he was so humble that no job is small. That King Arjuna, when Krishna agreed to be a charioteer, not agreed. He offered to become a charioteer of Arjuna in the battlefield. You see, who will? It is a lowly paid job. It is like a driver of a car, a chauffeur. Why he will choose something like that? But he chose to be a chauffeur of Arjuna in the battlefield. That shows his humility. And second is his friendship. One of the most important is friendship also, and his humility, showing that no job is big or no job is small. So the second example is Sudama. Sudama, like our schoolmate, there was a man called Sudama who was classmate of Krishna. So when he was very, very poor, and it is a very famous story recited all over India. And so I am just going to repeat in a very short way. But what I'm saying is his wife will insist, when a friend is so big and so rich, why don't you go to him? And he's ruling a kingdom. Why don't you go to him and ask for some money? And then she said, okay. She was very hesitant to ask for money or for help from a very rich man, friend, just because he was rich. They said, this is not friendship. Why should I ask for money from just because he's a king? No, but wife first. You see, as they are always adamant, she was adamant and she insisted that you should go and ask Krishna for help. So Sudama, with great hesitation, went there, and he was surprised to see such a huge kingdom. And then there is a palace and big palatial thing, so many servants, this and that. He was very hesitant. But and he was wondering whether Krishna will allow him to enter or not. But on the contrary, as soon as Krishna saw him, he pushed him, brought him inside, washed his feet. He, with his wife Rukmani, washed his feet and this and that. And then he said, what have you brought for me? You see, when he was coming, his wife gave some puffed rice as an offering. Because puffed rice is in India, a popped rice, we call it. So it is one form of food that all we Indians, in villages, especially in India, enjoy this. We call it puffed rice. So he had only that one. So he wanted to, Sri Krishna took one first fistful and took it. And then he took the second. And then as he was going to the third, Rukmani stopped him. Why? You see, because in the first he gave him whatever wealth, this and that is possible. And the second, all the happiness. But the third meant that he will get blissful freedom. So Rukmani said, no, we cannot do this. So this is the example of friendship that he showed with Arjuna, and secondly with his own friend Sudama. So that is why it is said, surround yourself with good friends. good friend, it is better to have 2 good friends than have 5 bad ones. So you should be very selective, but very few, we cannot be so lucky as to get Krishna as a friend. But they say Sakha Bhava. If you have God as a friend, that is the best possible friend any man can have, or any human being can have. If you really want friend, seek friendship with God. If you want family, make God your family. Or if you want to serve somebody, boss, you make God your boss. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita also. If there is any single figure who represents India in yogic spirituality, vibrant culture, and ancient, it is Krishna. This is not easy choice. India also land of Buddha, because you see there are so many. Buddha is there, Rama is there, Shankara is there, and many sages. But we cannot compare. We cannot compare and say which is great. But if you see the Dashavatara Stotra, Buddha also is a Dashavatara, Vishnu. They are all incarnation of Vishnu from one point of view. But if you from other point of view, we cannot compare. So instead of comparing who is great and who is not great, we just concentrate on the message, the thought of the person that he has, the person who has relayed the message through his life. He has not only given the message, but entire life represents what he has talked of. The whole life of Krishna, if you read, there is a Bhagavatam, as we had that Swami calling Bhagavatam, that is the life of Shri Krishna. We wanted to start a class on that Bhagavatam and hope that in future we will be able to do so, that there we will get in a very vivid way life of Shri Krishna is defined. Very, very vivid way. Because in Mahabharata it is very short. We don't get much details of his life. Only his birth, how the birth is there, this and that, and then the battlefield. And then it is all over. So we do not get much of that, but to get much of life of Sri Krishna, we have to read Bhagavatam. And we hope that in future, someday, that we will have a regular Bhagavatam class on Sundays. That is our point of future. So, sorry. I was talking because I chose Bhagavad Gita because I think that is the most important book that can help us. That is the most important message of Sri Krishna. And if we really want to celebrate, we have to know what he has said instead of how he has lived his life, how many things, because there is many misinterpretation, because he lived a life, he had a 16,000 wives. That people may misunderstand. Then you see, they do not leave God also. When it comes to criticism, they criticize God also. So they say that he had 16,000 wives and he was having relation with Radha so many and so on and so forth. So he was only a player of flute and other things. He was at the end of the day a cowherd boy. How he can be a god? So many things are there. So we do not go into those details. But primarily the message that was given in the battlefield by Krishna to his friend Arjuna is the most important thing, and that we can utilize on his birthday on Janmashtami. So Bhagavad Gita is the main Hindu book. And then in this, Sri Krishna brings together all that is profound, challenging, and wonderful in human thought and action, and links it with supreme divine. You see, all that is there in this world, he relates it with the divine. You see, nothing is worldly. Everything that we do in this whole world is divine. Like when Arjuna says, I do not want to kill them, they are all my relatives. Well, whom are you going to kill? They have been already been killed by me. Your whatever action is to be taken place has already been taken. Even before you can think, it is already over. Now you are just going to do that in action to finalize the thing proceedings. It is not that you are doing it for the first time. The moment they came to the battle, their destiny was fixed, that who is going to live and who is going to die. It is already their death from that point of view. So it is very difficult for us to comprehend what Krishna says. But even for Arjuna, it was very difficult, and it took 3 hours. If you chant 700 shlokas, it will almost take 3 hours. It might have taken more, but it took long time to Krishna to convince Arjuna to fight. But in the process, they have given a standard, what I call in a modern technology, standard operating procedure for a normal human being. How, if you want to know how I can face COVID, first is face it. And then if you follow whatever discussions that we were having, that then we will know, yes, this is all helpful, this is all helpful. Because moment we see, you see why we do not read scripture, because it is written in a very difficult language called Sanskrit. You see, so all things, even a Muslim Quran also is not easy to understand. In that way, Bible is also written in Latin. It is all in a very complicated, very prehistoric scriptures and language. It is there. If you really want to read, go into the original text, it will be very difficult. For understanding Buddhism, also you have to understand Pali. So if you really say that for understanding any philosophy of life, I have to go back to the original text, that will be very difficult. But if you see a lucid translation of any scriptures, Gita especially, you can read Upanishad also, just read the literal meaning and you will understand. And not only power of comprehension will go, the capacity to face this world also will rise. That is why we say, you see, Krishna was a multi-sided personality, a Renaissance man. Renaissance is rebirth. You see, Renaissance is not of that particular. Again and again, more it is unending. His life is so full of knowledge that it is whenever you put that thing, it is a Renaissance. Whenever that philosophy you put into front of person, it is called Renaissance. And he mastered every domain of life according to the highest vision. He was not only a monk, prophet, or a saint, but master of our full human potential in the world and beyond, illumined by unlimited divine light from within. You see, whether he's God or not, but whatever he preached, whatever he taught, how do we know a person whether he's a good or bad? The way he talks, the things that he is telling you, the way he behaves. This is the way we can judge a person. There is no other way. Simply by seeing he's only a body of section of flesh and blood and something like that. But how do we know whether he's a good person or moment he opens his mouth? We say how to know a person. Moment whatever he utters clarifies what he is. So Sri Krishna, the things that he uttered is beyond normal intelligence. It is not comprehension by normal intelligent person. We have to think, meditate upon it. Then only we will know. And once you know, it will give you energy to fight and face this world. One must remember, you see, the Krishna difficulties Krishna had to endure at birth. You see, facing the vial of Kamsa. You see, I told you earlier, he had to face them. You see, his mother was imprisoned in jail. It was in the imprisonment. They were shackled in chains and other things. And whenever 7 children were born to them before Krishna, and whosoever was born was killed by that Devaki's mother, Kamsa. The uncle was so brute and so ready because somebody has predicted that son of Devaki will come and kill. So, moment any child was born, that the Kamsa decided the only way to save himself was kill all the child. So, and tried to prevent everything from being born and to murder him after he was born. Krishna's birth teaches us the daunting challenges of human life, even for the noblest soul. You see, he was God incarnate, but even so much of suffering. Our material world is not easy to live, much less to evolve in consciousness. It is. Everybody knows that this world is not easy. It is so difficult to live in this world. And then how to develop the consciousness, how to develop our soul's aspiration, how to become spiritual, let alone normal life. Leading a normal life is so difficult. We have to face so many challenges. How to live a bigger aspiration and become spiritual, it is very, very difficult. It is the realm of difficulties and dangers that forces us to develop patience and detachment or lose our inner light. You see, when we are facing all these difficulties, the 2 things can happen. Either you develop patience and detachment and grow, or lose your inner light and they say that this world is good for nothing and I don't want to live in this world. So these are the only 2 things that one can do. So what you choose, it is up to you. Sri Krishna faced so many adversities, but he never gave up his divinity. That is why they say, who is divine? When you come out of the battle of criticism, fight, negativity, all around, you see power politics, this and that, office politics. We all know what office politics is, things like that. Not only office politics, your relatives are criticizing you. People have so many high expectations from you. You should have done this, you should have done that. Whether you are capable of... Okay. So Hiranya has to leave. Sorry, you can leave. It is almost 8 o'clock now.
No problem, Maharaj, carry on. I have a meeting with the United Nations, so I have to leave.
Okay. Now, should I carry on? It is time is too high now. 7:55 already.
You please carry on. I have to leave. But others are there, they are enjoying, everybody is enjoying.
That I don't think so. I don't know. So, I actually had prepared so that when I wanted to finish. It is almost 7:55. So this is all what I wanted to talk is in short about the Krishna, the message that he gave. So instead of 2-3 points only I discussed, and that is how we will end this here, because it is 7:55. It is almost 7:56 in my clock. We have to close in time. I think I have done some justice. Whatever I could talk, I have done, and then I will go and repeat Karmanya Vadikarasya to myself so that I don't get entangled into the result of what people think of me. Though there are very few, only 12, though they have already gone out. When they go out, out of your class, when you are teaching a class, when students go out of your class, then it is, you have to think whether you are boring or whether you are doing right or wrong. But anyway, I don't go too much into details because they are recording. So thank you very much. May God bless you all. May Krishna bless us all and provide us with the right vision and capacity to fight and face this world. Thank you very much. And if I made any mistake, please forgive me for my ignorance. Because now you are hearing so many bright speakers. Naturally, there will be a comparison that Swamiji, there are so many bright speakers all over the world. What are you doing in Philippines? So with these words, I will end. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Maharajji, for your excellent discourse. And you have really highlighted some of the very, very important points of Bhagavad Gita, that is concentration on your goal. There is always a cause and reason. Do your duty. And very, very important message you have given, the permanence of impermanence. That is, change is permanent. So it is the impermanence which is permanent. We have to take control of our life, and we have come empty-handed. We have to go empty-handed. So we should not worry too much about loss and gain. And there are people who are suffering like us, so we should not give too much importance to our suffering, then need to control our anger. The Krishna represents sacrifice, and Krishna's passion for modesty and friendship. Modesty because he was happy to be a driver and do his duty, although he was a king, and no job is big or small. That is also and respecting the friend. I think if like Krishna, we could Krishna loved his friend like Sudama respected, I think world will be a very finer place. And then the most important pearl of advice that you have given, that make God as your friend, bring God into everything, and everything is divine. So thank you, Maharajji. We can close the program. I think it was a very nice program this was our first endeavor as to have an online program, live program, and I think it has been very good that we did it successfully. And we can. I will now end the. I'll now end the recording, but we can come back for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes of informal talk. If you have time, I'll need 30 seconds for ending the recording.